Hi, I'm Allison Markline with SanDiegoHouseDeals.com, and I wanted to talk to you today about how short sales may affect your credit. If you are considering doing a short sale, if you're getting behind on your payments, you should go online to SanDiegoHouseDeals.com, and there's a whole library of information available to sellers, information about short sales and about what happens when you need to put your house on the market. You should have all of this information available to you before you put your house on the market and before you get too far delinquent in your payments. There are things that we can do to help mitigate the problems that may arise. Additionally, there are about 9 or 10 options that are available to you. Short sale or foreclosure are just 2 of them. There's a lot of other things that you may be able to do. There's a loan modification. Sometimes we can go to the bank and we can ask them to change the terms of your loan, lower your interest rate, give you longer to pay it off. A lot of things that can be done. So best thing to do is get out in front of that. Go online, get some information, or contact me, and I'd be happy to provide you with whatever information I can at SanDiegoHouseDeals.com. So let's talk a little more about credit. Credit score, otherwise called a FICO score, F-I-C-O, it was developed by the Fair Isaac Corporation. And this is just a number that represents the creditworthiness of the person, or the likelihood that they are going to be able to repay their debts. This number is usually between 300 and about 850. In this economy, we don't see too many people at the 850 level. There are plenty of them, but typically the numbers that we see are in the 600s and 700s when people are able to apply for loans and get loans accepted. Obviously, if you are delinquent in your payments, that gets reported to the credit agency, and that's going to have a negative effect on your credit. The extent at which, oddly enough, depends on the level at which you've started. Most people don't realize that if you've started at a low credit and you're not making your payments, for some crazy reason, the points that are deducted off of your credit score are less than if you had really great credit. But regardless of that, there are things that you should know about that. The factors that go into determining a FICO score, because it measures the risk of default on any type of credit that's provided to you, whether that's a credit card or a car loan or a house loan, they have some formulas, and they really keep them very secret. So a lot of people will say, well, should I carry a high debt on my credit card, or should I pay it all off? Those are things that you should be speaking to a credit professional about. Obviously, for my clients, depending on what their needs are, I refer them to a credit professional who can either enroll them in a program after the short sale, or a lot of clients will find that once a short sale is complete, their credit goes back up right away if they are able to get some employment. But the negative things stop getting reported, and their credit usually goes up. Another thing that is used to determine a FICO score is the payment history, and obviously this has some impact based on your delinquency from your mortgage default. It's about 35%, give or take. About a third is placed as your payment history, and they weighted on that. Another third is what kind of credit you utilize. If you have a lot of credit cards that are outstanding, in some cases, as you're going through the short sale process, a lot of credit cards will start to reduce your available credit. Sometimes they'll reduce it by the amount of your payments each time you pay it off. So just be aware that that's something that may or may not happen, and that's something that you can get more information about if you're concerned about it. About 15% goes towards the length of your credit history. So if you've had a long history of very good credit, you've had cards that have been open for a long time, it just shows that you're a little more stable. Maybe 10% are the types of credit used, whether or not you're in an installment plan, revolving, consumer finance. And then about 10% is whether or not you've obtained a lot of credit recently. Have you opened a lot of accounts? Or whether or not a lot of inquiries have been pulled on your account. You have a lot of options available to you, so for you to be able to mitigate the problems with the impact on your credit score for having a short sale, if you're able to do a loan modification, that would be something important to know, whether or not you can negotiate with the bank, or whether or not somebody can negotiate on your behalf to get you a better rate, longer repayment terms. All of these things are important. They're things that you need to know before you go into default, or if you are, before you allow your home to be foreclosed on, which has the greatest impact. And if you have more questions about that, please go to SanDiegoHouseDeals.com and look in the information library, or send me your information and I'll find out what it is that you're looking for, and we'll get you all the resources you need. Thanks, and I'm Allison Markline.